Did you guys know that over the last 2 weeks, Cody Zeller has been playing as a top 40 fantasy basketball option? We discuss all that and more on This Week in Fantasy Basketball. What's up, everyone? This is your boy, the talented Mr. Taco from the Daily Sporting, coming to you with another edition of This Week in Fantasy Basketball. Right now, one player that I'm looking at over the past two weeks specifically, who's really turned it up and put his production up another level is Cody Zeller. Cody Zeller's been getting consistent minutes. He's been hovering anywhere from about 20 to 30 minutes, 40 minutes a game. He's solid from the free throw line, solid from the field. He gets you solid rebounds, good blocks, a low amount of turnovers. He's rostered in 52% of leagues. He's looked like he's definitely started to take the next step as far as with the lineup, maintaining his starting status, maintaining his consistency, and for being a center, which we know are very hard to find, especially on the waiver wire at this point of the season. He's definitely someone that could be a great add for your team, and going forward could be a significant piece to the back end of your roster to help you win. Like I said, guys, my name is the talented Mr. Taco from the Daily Sporting. Here at the Daily Sporting, what we like to do is we like to do what we can to help you win. So one thing that we started with this show, This Week in Fantasy Basketball, is I like to cover some of the guys that are coming up and starting to make a name for themselves, while also covering some of the stats of the players that we've seen playing so far this season. And one thing that I would like to point out or speak to is just the fact of this season has been crazy as far as injuries and COVID-related absences. So it's hard to really get a gauge of who's really a top performer this year, just other than the stats, because, we've seen guys like Kawhi Leonard miss some games. We've seen guys like right now, a Holiday is missing games. And in the future, we see that Anthony Davis is out with an Achilles injury, which is going to take him out of some games. Chris Paul recently had calf soreness. He's going to be out of some games. So right now we're starting to see injuries starting to pile up, and we're starting to see a COVID protocol starting to pile up as we see guys like Kevin Durant was removed from his game because of COVID testing protocols. So things are really getting really dicey right now. So this is why having an effective waiver wire strategy is supremely important during this season. And one thing that I would say is stay tuned for tomorrow when we have our waiver wire special, where we cover two guys under 50% owned, two guys under 25% owned, in order to really get you guys geared up for your league and make those moves in order to get you ahead and to help deal with some of these injuries. I think one of the biggest things that we have to look at for the biggest movers is Fred VanVleet. We see guys like Curry and VanVleet make their way up to numbers 2 and 3 on the leaderboard, surpassing Vujovic and Kawhi Leonard. Jokic is holding strong at the number one spot. He's beasting in all categories and definitely setting himself up for a future MVP run. We're looking at Miles Turner holding steady at around top 10. Blocks are coming in heavy as we see he has 80, so he's definitely beating out everyone. Low turnovers, good efficiency. Middleton has been doing Middleton things. He's been the most efficient player on that team, but Drew Holiday isn't that far off, and with Drew Holiday being out for a couple of games, I think it sets him up for having a nice week, someone that I'd want to add in fantasy, daily fantasy. Another player that we're looking at here, Joel Embiid has been going off this season. Zach LaVine, Hayward, I think to many people's surprise, with that huge injury that he had in Boston, a lot of people think that his career may have been over or changed, but he's really come back healthy with this stint that he's had in Charlotte. He signed for a huge contract, and he's really living up to it. He's an efficient scorer. He gets people involved. He gets rebounds. I can't say enough about Gordon Hayward and how well he's played. It's definitely been a good contract for the Charlotte Hornets. Malcolm Brogdon has maintained his supreme status this season as being one of the top point guards, getting you those assists, those three-pointers, low turnovers, and good efficiency. Grant, we had spoken about this enough. This is someone that you want to make a trade for because they've dedicated the minutes and the offensive game plan for him, and he's taken it and he's run with it. Kevin Durant, like we said, he's going to be out for a little bit. Same thing like Paul George. Now, Paul George is a little bit of a different situation because he's having a bone issue in his foot, and the coach just doesn't know when he's going to be available. So he's someone that you're going to probably have to move to your injured slot, and you're going to have to figure out a way to deal without having him. Rashawn Holmes has been holding steady over these last couple of games. As we see, he's 25 on the season, but if you look at his last couple of games, he's gotten a double-double in 3 of the last 4. He's gotten 6 blocks in the game 4 games ago, 1, 2, 2. So he's definitely stepping up. He's definitely efficient. He's getting his blocks in, and he's holding himself down at the end of the top 25. If we look in reverse, 50 Halliburton. Halliburton just holds steady all year, maintaining good efficiency, great assists, good threes. I think Halliburton has been a steal off the waiver wire early on this season. Harris, Malik Beasley, Wood, when we look at what's going on with Wood, he's been diagnosed with a right ankle sprain that's going to be week to week. So he's someone that you're going to have to monitor on your waiver wire. Someone that, has been really playing lights out basketball has been Harrison Barnes. He had a bad game in his last game, but if you look at all the stats that he's been putting up before that, Harrison Barnes has been balling out this year and is definitely a good buy low candidate, as most people probably don't even realize how well he's truly been playing for this season. Okay. One other thing that we want to look at is we want to touch on just what's been going on over the last 2 weeks or so, just to show you some of the players that have been really balling out. And okay, so we got Jokic, Curry, Harden, Van Vliet, Valanciunas, Paul George. See, Paul George and Wood going down are going to be big injuries in the fantasy community because these guys have been playing lights out. Powell has been someone that I picked up off my waiver wires in another league as someone dropped him because he got hurt. And he's really been holding down. He's been getting 3.8 threes per game, 23 points over these last 2 weeks. Definitely something that you want to try to get into your lineups. Okay. Another player that to mention here is DeAndre Hunter. Hunter suffered basically a meniscus. He had surgery to repair his meniscus, and he's probably more than likely going to be out for the whole year, out for a good portion of the season. You're going to be looking at guys like Cam Reddish and Kevin Huerter who are going to have significant increases in their playing time, which can make them very, very usable going forward, and people that you may want to take advantage of and try to pick up and get on your active lineup. One player that I did want to specifically mention was Kyle Kuzma. Over his last 7 days, with Anthony Davis especially being out, if we look at what Kuzma has been doing, he's really been starting to produce and put up some numbers. His efficiency isn't the best, but he does get you some blocks, some rebounds, and in leagues where you need someone to replace a guy like Davis or Durant, or you need someone just to fill in for a little bit, he's someone that you definitely can take a look at that might be able to help you out. And another player that I always like to touch on is Kendrick Nunn. Kendrick Nunn fell out of the rotation after Tyler Hero and Jimmy Butler came back from their injury. But now we're looking at Goran Dragic experiencing some issues as well. And this has opened up the door again for Kendrick Nunn to come back into play. And as we see, when Kendrick Nunn gets playing time, he's been really good. Kendrick Nunn was an undrafted rookie by Miami last year. And what he did is he played himself into being the number 2 rated rookie, or he was number 2 in Rookie of the Year voting last year. When they went into the bubble for the Orlando playoff, he had contacted COVID, so he wasn't able to practice with the team and stay in shape. So during the bubble, he had lost some playing time to the other guys, and that really kind of led to him falling off during that playoff run. He came back in the finals and was really an efficient scorer for them, giving them a guy that can get his own shot, take it to the rim, and score. And I think that's something that they're needing right now. He can hit his own three. He could take take it to the basket. He can create for others. So I think that Kendrick Nunn might be sitting at this 30-minute clip for a decent amount of time. And if he is hitting at this 30-minute clip, I think he's someone that you're going to want to pick up and roster going forward, just because he's such a good scorer and he's pretty efficient and he doesn't really kill you anywhere. So Kendrick Nunn is definitely someone that if you can pick up and get on your rosters, that I definitely would suggest. And the one last thing that we're going to run through real quick is just the last 7 days of what we see going on. And as we see here, Fred VanVleet is playing out of his mind, hitting 4.8 threes per game, 30 points, 6 assists, only 2.3 steal turnovers, 2.5 assists, and 1.3 blocks. Little man is getting some blocks, and I'm really shocked at that, especially for someone of his size. For him to be playing like this, it is absolutely kind of crazy. But Fred VanVleet is absolutely balling right now. Wesley Matthews, we've seen him play one game right now, and it's not something that we really want to take too much stock into, especially with that Laker team. Pascal Siakam looks like he's finally starting to turn the corner, and if you have an owner that's really been impatient with him or not really seeing his value, now might be the time to go and snag him up. He's really starting to turn around. He gets you a little bit of everything, doesn't really hurt you anywhere. A really great player to have on your team. KP's really stepped up again, 23 points, 9 rebounds, 2 blocks, 2.5 threes, 49% from the field, 92% from the free throw. So he's definitely been balling out. All right, guys. That's pretty much it for this week in basketball so far this week. What we're going to be doing, like I said, tomorrow you're going to be seeing a video where we're going to cover some of the guys that we covered in our waiver wire show, like Thaddeus Young, who I made a suggestion to pick up. Now with Lauri Markkanen gone or out for a little bit, it's going to open up even more opportunity for Thaddeus Young to really provide some solid value for your team. But guys, I want to thank you very much for spending your time with us here at the Daily Sporting. Our number one goal is to help you guys win your leagues. So I hope we did everything we can to get you educated for this week. I believe we're at week 8 now in fantasy basketball. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop them below in the comments and to come swing by and join us on our Waiver Wire Wednesday show tomorrow that we have up here, and drop any questions for some waiver questions that you have going forward. But I want to thank you guys very much. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and share this video with other people to make sure that they stay in the know. You have a wonderful, wonderful time, and thank you very much, and peace.